What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Watch It in Action. I'm BouseFeenux, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Grineer Assault Rifle, the Buzlok. This is a pretty interesting weapon, and I kind of maxed it out just because I was curious about it, just to see what it could do, and the final verdict, the short answer of everything is I'm a little disappointed with it, but it's not that bad. So, before we get into anything else, let's take a look at the build real fast. So this is a pretty standard assault rifle build. The only problem is it's going to cost us about 6 Forma, and on a weapon this mediocre, I would say your 6 Forma is better spent elsewhere. The build here is pretty standard for assault rifles. I've got heavy caliber, split chamber serration, shred for the punch through. Some of you might argue this, and I'll get to this here in a second. Cryo rounds, infected clip, stormbringer, and high voltage. I'm using 3 90% elementals. And then I've got High Voltage, which is our dual stat electricity mod, and that gives us electricity and viral. This is an impact weapon, and impact is generally it's generally better against Corpus units with shields. Impact is good against shields and stuff. So that's why I'm kind of going with a Corpus build for this with the electricity and viral. The viral is going to take care of the fleshier units of the Corpus, and then the electricity here is going to take care of the machine health units, stuff like that, MOAs, all those kinds of different guys. So heavy caliber you can switch out as far as I'm concerned if you have Crash Course, which is a very expensive event mod, and that's going to increase your impact damage, and that's pretty much it. So I just feel like heavy caliber makes this weapon too inaccurate, and it's got a little homing dart that you can fire that I'll show you here in a second, but it's trying to hit that thing on stuff is kind of hard with heavy caliber because the accuracy is so skewed. Shred, and the reason people might argue shred is because if you cast a homing dart on something and the bullets hit the homing dart, they'll stop traveling. And the reason I would argue that is if you put a dart behind someone and the bullets pass through those targets to get to him, that's what kind of makes it useful. So that being said, that's kind of the build here. Let's test it out, and I'll show you guys how this weapon really works. So we're going to spawn some Corpus units and test it on those guys. So I'm going to use some Corrupted Crewmen, do about 6 or 7 of those, and then we've got some MOAs too, because I'll show you those guys as well. So we'll use those. We're going to use level 90 enemies just because I want to show you this weapon at a high level. Level 90 is kind of rare, unless you're doing a sortie a lot, and that's only like once per day. You're not really going to be seeing enemies this high level in your average mission. But let's go ahead and simulate real quick, and I'll show you how this weapon works. So press the middle mouse button, that's a little scroll wheel, to get your homing dart, and then you can shoot, and those bullets will track to that homing dart, no matter what. So until that target dies, they will continue to track to it. So you shoot it on a target, and then you can run away and just shoot like in front of you, and the bullets will curve around wanted style behind you. So kind of interesting. I mean, no other weapon really has a mechanic like that, and I find it satisfying to use. It's pretty fun. The only problem is if you miss and you hit a wall, then all your bullets are going to go to that wall, and since a wall can't really die, that tracker is going to stay there for a while until you put a new one on a different enemy. So want to make sure you're mindful of that. And again, I mean, the damage isn't too bad. We're getting about 800 damage a shot or so without any buffs like roar or anything like that. So I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not for the work you have to put into it and for the way the weapon fires and how unwieldy it is. I mean, it is what it is. It's got crazy recoil. Pretty crazy recoil when you're aiming down the sight. It's kind of hard to keep it on target, and then it's got this other weird thing where if you're aiming down the sight and moving forward, it feels like you're being pushed back as you're moving, like you're jerking forward. It's very strange. I don't really care for it, but like I said, I mean, there's better weapons that you can put 6 Forma into. This one isn't too bad, so if you got it sitting around, you're curious about using it, you think you can make it better than I have, go for it. I mean, it's not a terrible weapon, but it's definitely not the best. That's going to be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed watching, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe, all that fun stuff. And check out this build on BouseFeenux.com. That's the website that I've put together for you guys that has most of my builds on it. And I'm adding more and more stuff every day to that. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next one.